We'll go next to noon Eastern time on ABC, where BYU will travel to Lubbock to take on the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Massive implications for the Big 12, massive implications for the college football playoff. College GameDay recognizes this. They'll be on site. This is a Big 12 championship game semifinal in many ways, and in a lot of ways too. I mean, it's kind of a clash of the Titans there in the conference. BYU is undefeated, 5-0 in conference play. Texas Tech stands at 8-1. They're 5-1 in the Big 12. And the matchup between the two, very, very thin. And that's why it's kind of hard to wrap your head around the line right now, where Texas Tech is currently favored by double digits. We'll start with question one. What's the latest on LJ Martin? Now, BYU, he's their running back. BYU has forged a remarkable undefeated record on the back of a physical rushing attack. They are really good when trying to control the line of scrimmage. They can run it outside, they can run it inside. Their quarterback can be a factor. So when you look at the importance of LJ Martin, he is as important to this offense as just about any player. I mean, this is a passing offense that is fine. They're in the middle of college football, kind of middling. But if for whatever reason LJ Martin's not at 100%, or if he can't be the guy that he needs to be at the top of the game, that's huge. He is the engine. He enters as the Big 12's leading rusher. And right now there's a little bit of questions as to whether or not he's going to be able to go. In the first half, had a shoulder injury against Iowa State. That was just a couple weeks ago. He has had some time. And Kalani Sitake says that he's optimistic. And the bye week should be pretty beneficial for his recovery. It's also a little bit concerning that he couldn't finish the game last week, though, as well. So the ramifications of his absence are significant for the Cougars. And if he can't go, that extends kind of beyond the starting lineup, because the backup running back from a few weeks back, Sione Moa, he's been banged up as well. So the top two playmakers at the running back spot, having those guys at less than 100% or unavailable at all, could be pretty significant for BYU, knowing they want to run the football. Question two, with or without LJ Martin, can BYU's offensive line win in the trenches? Now, this O-line has been a strength, especially in pass protection. They've allowed just 9 sacks this season. However, this is a completely different animal along the defensive line. This is a top 3 defensive line unit in the country. They have been rebuilt through the portal. They've got high-level talent. They've invested heavily along both lines of scrimmage. But on defense, has been one of the best groups in the country up front, led by outstanding edge presence David Bailey. Now, their defense statistically is one of the best, but off the ball at linebacker, Jacob Rodriguez, he's been great as well. As a group that allows less than 75 rushing yards a game. That's number 1 in college football. They are really good. So if for whatever reason this BYU team can't run the football because their offensive line doesn't play at a high level, that would be problematic and putting a lot of pressure on a young quarterback's shoulders. Question number 3, can Texas Tech's offense continue their surge? Now, they are clicking in a lot of ways. At least last week they were. They are 3rd in the NCAA in scoring average. They are 5th in total offense. They have now returned to their quarterback, Baron Morton, who's probably playing the best football of his career. Hadn't gotten to play a ton. He's gotten a little being banged up from time to time. He's missed a start. Hasn't been around all the time. But he averages big plays. This guy wants to push the ball down the field. So while his health was a bit of a concern, it sounds like those concerns are in the rearview mirror. He was good to go last week against Kansas State and put forth a very impressive performance. He's ripping it in practice by all accounts, and it's the health of their offensive attack extends beyond the quarterback too. You got Terrence Carter back at tight end. He's now back. You got Caleb Douglas, Coy Eakin. You got a bunch of very, very capable components on this offense. And now with Morton back at 100%, feels like the offense is fully operational. Question 4, will BYU continue to own the red zone? Now, this entire game could be decided when the Red Raiders get into BYU territory inside the 25, inside the 20-yard line. And this is the 10th ranked red zone defense going against a Texas Tech offense, which is, by the way, they're not super elite in the red zone because they're a big play group. So every red zone trip that ends in a field goal is a victory for BYU. And if Texas Tech can score touchdowns when the field condenses, that will go a long way into making things even more difficult on BYU going against the Red Raider defense. Question 5, how will Bear Bachmeier handle this environment and stage? Now, he has been nothing short of amazing. To have already collected 5 Big 12 Freshman of the Week honors, people, when you watch this young man, they are thoroughly impressed with his toughness, with his mentality. He's a true dual threat. I think he's a pretty good thrower, especially for a guy that's young, but it's his rushing attack, that capability that he has with the ball in his hands that makes him very difficult to defend. So this will be probably by far the toughest environment he's ever had to play in. You have a road game against the Big 12's #1 ranked defense, and he could also potentially be doing it with a less than 100% leading rusher standing right beside him. So the entire weight of this undefeated season could potentially be on his shoulders. He appears to be mature enough to handle that, but we don't really know for sure, not until the game is officially kicked off. Question 6, can BYU force Texas Tech into some mistakes? This is where BYU is great. They are fantastic when it comes to turning people over. They're top 4 in the country with turnover margin at +10. They have forced 16 turnovers. They thrive on making mistakes. They've intercepted 12 passes. And the offense on the other side, they've thrown just 3. So this might be the single greatest opportunity for BYU is to force Texas Tech's quarterback, Behren Morton, into throwing the ball in their direction, creating some short fields for an offense that might have their hands full. This is a massive line in this game. When I see a double-digit spread in a game like this, I'm kind of surprised. Here's the problem. The strength of BYU is running the football. And they're running right into a brick wall along Texas Tech's front. And then watching Texas Tech, seeing what they did to Utah, seeing what they've done to other teams this year, trying to run the football against them, it's been very tough. If you are at all one-dimensional against Texas Tech, they can wear you out. Now, BYU can win this game, but the path is far more narrow than it is for Texas Tech. I'm taking the Red Raiders. I'm also going to lay the points. I think that environment will be too much for BYU to overcome.